important to know what their governments are developing. We don't want to run our countries by poetry and speech writers and all that nonsense. We need our countries to be run based on facts and data, like a business, because it is a business. So that is the index, and please, you can check on our website. It's so easy. This actually is the executive summary. The actual index is 350 pages, but that's the executive summary. The second thing we do is the prize, and I want to clarify here the issue of the prize and the leadership. We believe it's not only with governance, also with leadership. It's very important, really, to change what we're doing. One problem we have here, and we have in Africa, we have to confess, those tendencies for some leaders never to leave the office. And sometimes actually you can understand because there is nothing to do. They leave the office, then where do you go? Unlike in Britain, Britain is my second country, I'm also a British citizen. Tony Blair makes a lot of money because he gets £2 million from Merrill Lynch being on the board. He makes his speeches, $500,000 a speech. He does that. All our leaders in Europe make a lot of money. They become rich, actually, after they leave office. Where African leaders go after they leave office? There's nowhere. So we said, actually, there is one type of leaders we care about. It is the people who really delivered to their country. They came peacefully, democratically. They served, moved the country forward. They were excellent in execution. And then they left on time. They did not go and change the constitution and played around and stayed there and did that. And no, you come and serve. The constitution says you can have 2 terms. You have 2 terms. Then it's finished. We say people who did the right thing are really heroes. Are really heroes. I know you're talking about Nobel Prize, etc. And it's fine. Somebody writes a nice novel, he gets a prize. He writes a paper in chemistry. We think a leader who takes millions of people out of poverty, that is the person who really deserves a wonderful prize. That's why we offer this prize. In short, the prize is $5 million and $200,000 for life and $200,000 a year for the foundation, which the departing president is going to form to continue, because we are recruiting these people, actually. These are the wonderful people of Africa, to work and continue to serve the people in Africa as civil society now. Civil society is wonderful. And people join us in civil society, and let us serve. Let us serve our people. So that is the objective of the foundation. So far, we had the prize, we had 3 winners. We had Mandela, we had President Chissano of Mozambique, and we had President Mukhai of Botswana. And so that is by the way, I don't sit on the prize committee. Prize committee meets confidentially, in secret. It doesn't keep minutes. It is a wonderful organization, have some of the best people around, and you can check all the members there. It's chaired by Kofi Annan. And whatever they decide, we execute as a board of the foundation. So it is not that I select people, as some people say, I have no voice there. Now, in order for us to succeed in what we're doing, governance is not only required from governments in Africa. Good governance is required from everybody. It's required from your governments, ladies and gentlemen. It's required from your private sector as well. We cannot have good governance in Africa if you are messing about or doing all this hanky-panky sometimes you love to do. So we really need to take issue with also issue of governance in the private sector, which nobody's talking about it. The financial crisis, which hit all of us, actually was because of the collapse, failure of governance in the financial institutions. And I asked the question to the president of the bank, I think you heard yesterday, Where were the boards of all these banks? How could they allow this kind of betting and speculation to go on? Where is the fiduciary? Where is the governance? What happened there? There's a total failure of governance in the private sector. And because of that total failure there, people who don't live in the United States, who don't bet on the housing market in the United States, normal people like you and me suffered. You suffered in your pension. Some of us lost their jobs. Millions of people around the globe suffered. So it's only, and not only that, then these banks failed, and then they came to us and say, hey, sorry, taxpayers have to bail all those people. So you have to dig in your pockets again and do that. Then your governments run huge deficits. Then said, okay, we need to cut health, we need to cut education, we need to do this. So all of us suffer. Then it's only legitimate for all of us to say, excuse me, we must have a voice here. If this bunch of bankers do these stupid things and affect all of us, we really need to have a voice in that issue as well. So where is governance in the financial sector? We need to have that. We need to see it. Governance in the mining, oil, and energy industry. That is very important because these are important resources for us in Africa. Some of our countries rely completely on these natural resources. I cannot understand when a big multinational company come and sign a secret contract. Nobody knows how much they're paying for the oil or for the gas, where this money is going. No, anything done in secret is suspicious. There's a very good reason. There must be some hanky-panky, frankly. And we ask all these great household companies, why you do these contracts in secret? So, oh, because the governments over there insist, the president insists in having secret. But of course, the president wants to have a big bribe. That's why he wanted to have it in secret. Is there any other reason? Any other reason? There's no other reason. So we say that must end. And I was very delightful that in the United States, Cardinal Lugar amendment, Senator Lugar and Senator Cardin produced an amendment, and it is law now in America that any energy or mining or oil company listed in the United States must declare their contracts. No longer secret contracts. No longer, finished. That captures maybe 70 or 80% of this kind of companies. Then we look at Europe. Where is the moral backbone of Europe? When Europe is going to match the United States and impose a similar law? United States, some 40 years ago, introduced the Foreign Corruption Act. Yes? And the agreement, the understanding was simultaneously Europe will introduce similar acts. What happened? The Europeans laughed up their sleeves and said, oh, let the Americans pass the law. They refused to pass the law. Bribes in Europe was tax deductible until the year 2000. You know that. Are you proud of that? It is tax deductible when you pay bribes. So is that governance? Under pressure from OECD, at last, dragging their feet, European countries introduced anti-corruption laws. My next question, how many countries in Europe prosecuted how many companies? You'll be surprised. All 20-odd countries did not prosecute more than 3 or 4 cases. So, can we take you seriously, guys? Are you serious? Now, the American passed this law. We look at this. I met with Mr. Barroso 2 days ago. I met with Louis Michel. Louis Michel is going to go to the parliament and try to pass this law. We spoke to various European leaders. I spoke to Merkel. I spoke to the British leaders. And we said, hey, we're going to judge you now. Don't stand on your soapbox and lecture us, because we are judging you. And you need to show us your moral backbone. So we really demand good governance out of your private sector. We demand good governance out of your governments. You have to do that. because we're doing our job in Africa and we're taking everybody to task. We're giving hell to everybody in Africa, and we have the right then to turn to you and say, what are you doing? Thank you very much, and welcome for any questions. Thank you.